Hey guys, Sarah here, and I'm here with another book talk. I know I haven't posted the second part to my red, white, and royal blue. That will be coming, but I just had to talk about this book because it came out a little while ago, but because I live in Australia, we didn't get it till the 1st of October, and I'm still waiting for the hardback I pre-ordered. So yes, I had to buy the paperback, so I'll be getting the paperback as well as the hardback, which I'm actually not mad about because I might just highlight and annotate my paperback. I know, shock horror, but if I have the hardback, that can remain nice and pristine and pretty, and then the other one can get trashed. So, kind of works. Anyway, and that book is, of course, the fourth book in the Trials of Apollo series, The Tyrant's Tomb! You have no idea how anxiously I have been awaiting this. I've been following the website and the Instagrams and all of the videos just for any scrap of news about what's going on in this book because I am so much enjoying this series. But if you haven't read it, then here is your spoiler warning. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. I am going to be spoiling you like crazy for all of the books in this series. So if you haven't read it, just trust that it is fabulous and Rick Riordan and amazing and go out and read it. Okay, go. Go. Okay, they're gone. Let's talk about it. Now, so if you've read the three books coming up to this, you know what's happened. And in the third one, I still cry. I'm tearing up now when I think about it or try to talk about it, and that is that Jason Grace was killed by Caligula. And in this book, that gets brought up, like, literally Meg and Apollo are delivering the coffin to Camp Jupiter in a hearse. That's what this is. And I'm just like, her babies! And in this book, I get so panicked and worried because we meet up with Raina and Hazel and Frank and Ella and Tyson, and everything looks like it's going to crap, and I'm like, no, no, no! And we meet other new awesome characters like Lavina and Don the Fawn, and just all of the things. All of the characters. And I'm just like, I don't want any of them to die, okay? And literally one of the prophecies they come across in this because, okay, so Ella is writing the Sibylline prophecies onto Tyson. Because the book's just too mainstream, you know? It's just, no. We gotta write it on the Cyclops. Which apparently smells really bad. And Tyson just thinks it tickles, but he thinks anything. He thinks fire tickles. So, I don't know if he's a great judge. And one of the Sibylline prophecies talks about even more people dying. And then, if you know Frank, he's got that piece of driftwood that's tied to his life force. And then it mentions, like, the ultimate fire sacrifice on, like, a bridge. And I'm like, if Frank dies, no. No, and Apollo is with me with this, okay? Apollo is just like, no one else is dying. No one. And we start off with a bad start with that. Because you'll see on the cover of this, there's this ghoul-like creature. How is it pronounced? It's like Enurici. Okay, I'm in the glossary. E. That's H. Erunamos. They're corpse-eating ghouls that live in the other world. So basically zombies. And normally controlled by Hades. But in this one, they're controlled by the douche canoe Tarquin, who was the last king of Rome and the reason why the Romans abolished having kings and then they had emperors. And Hades, get your house in order! Because they're all working for this Tarquin dude. And if a ghoul scratches you, then you become a zombie, but like the ultimate zombie. And you can treat it. So Apollo gets scratched like 10 pages in, and they treat it and they think he's getting better. But then throughout the book, you realize no, he's not getting better, he's becoming a ghoul. And I'm like, no, I'm not down for Apollo being a zombie here. No. And normally I'm like, Apollo's the main character. Of course he won't be a zombie, but we lost Jason in the last book. All bets are out the window. And then Apollo throughout the entire thing is just like, no one else is dying. They have to go and see Tarquin's thing so they can find out where the Soundless God is and whatever. And Tarquin tries to, like, he amplifies the curse of the scratch. So it makes it worse, so it accelerates. And he's just, and Meg, like, yeets at him, like, yeets herself at him, trying to kill him when she realizes, because she doesn't want to lose anyone else either. Like, her stepfather, turned out to be Nero, and she realized he sucks. Majorly. So she doesn't want to lose anyone else, and Apollo's been the one constant with her since she managed to break free of Nero. So she has a breakdown, and Apollo's like hugging her, and he thinks to himself, I love her like a sister, I don't want anything to happen to her. And this hug is happening after she had done that, and he's like, why did you do it? I don't want you to die. You foolish child. And she's just like, I don't want you to die either. And it's just like, oh, heartwarming moments. And so that's happening, tragedy, and war has already struck this poor Camp Jupiter. So they've already lost a lot of people, and they say they have 250 legionnaires normally, and I'm like, no offense, but that doesn't sound like a lot. Maybe we want to step up on the amount, just maybe. And we have the whole funeral for Jason, and before this happens, Apollo tells them what happens by singing it, and he makes it like an Iliad or something. And there's not a dry eye in the house, including mine, and I'm like, and he performs the funeral, and then Lupa turns up, and he has to go and speak with her. For those of you who don't know, Lupa's the wolf goddess who raised Jason, so she's pretty pissed that he's dead. And she basically tells him that there's a sibylline thing that means he can summon godly help. So, of course, that's a thing. So then they got to get the ingredients so they can summon the help that not even Zeus can argue with because it's Sibylline prophecy. And they have to climb up a tower and see this soundless god who turns out to be a Greco-Roman god of, well, it's like silence, but that's because the Greeks misunderstood what he was, because he was kind of more the god of childhood, because the symbol in ancient Egypt for child was like, and they took that to mean silence. So he's like a mix of both, and it's very confusing, and he hates Apollo, because Apollo was a bully to him. Because, yeah, when your role model is Zeus, what are you going to be? And Apollo at this point is suffering from major guilt attacks of what he's done in the past. He's just like, I'm a horrible person. I don't deserve to live. And so they meet this guy, and he just begs for his help. And it's like, we'll free you, we'll stop the Empress, just please help us. And the dude's like, you think I'm gonna help you? And Apollo tries, it's like, if not for me, just do it for the others, okay? And at one point he literally goes, you can kill me, just don't hurt my friends. Because Meg and Raina are with him. And then Meg and Raina hear this, and well, when I say hit, this is all happening telepathically, because he's a soundless god, okay? He can't have sound. Hear this, they're just like, They stand shoulder to shoulder in front of Apollo, and they show him how much Apollo has changed, all the stuff he's done, and the dude's like, are we sure we got the right dude? Are we sure this is Apollo? Especially since Apollo started the conversation by admitting he was wrong and apologizing. Previous Apollo would not do this. So the dude's just like, are we sure this is Apollo? Like, he's still angry, but he's very confused. And then it turns out Sybil is there. Sibylline, the woman who wrote the prophecies, is there in this glass jar. And Apollo did something pretty awful to her too. So he's like, great, 2 people who hate me, who I've greatly wronged, and just kill me. I deserve this. And she's just like, no, I've moved on from you. I don't care. I don't care enough to hate you anymore. You're nothing to me. And basically, they retire, they move on. As gods can do, they can fade from existence if not enough people know about them. And considering I'd never heard of this dude, and I did do a bit of Egyptian studies in primary school, I did a whole report on it. I can see how he's faded from thought and existence. So they move on to whatever those people move on to, and they get the final ingredient, and they eventually get back to Camp Jupiter, and in the process, Raina breaks her leg, so she can't help. And Meg Caffrey just goes into battle, and Apollo frantically goes over to Ella and Tyson and does the summoning ritual. And while he's like, okay, which god am I going to summon? He's looking around because they're in like the amphitheater or whatever it is with all the things to the gods, and he's like, which one is it going to be? And he's like, he sees the statue of Zeus, and he's like, yeah, I'd rather die than summon you. Well, Jupiter, because this is Rome, but I'd rather die than summon you. I'm like, yes! Progress! You tell Zeus, you tell him. And then he chooses the only option, really. His sister, Diana, or Artemis. But since it's Rome, it's Diana. He summons her, and she doesn't come right away, and he's like, okay, maybe I messed up, or maybe she didn't hear me, and maybe she just isn't coming, so I'm gonna go and fight, bringing my backup of one useless person. So he goes off to go and help, and he sees Frank trying to sacrifice himself, because he challenges Commodus and Caligula at the same time. Because yes, those two have brought their armies to destroy Camp Jupiter, and they're teaming up with Tarquin, who's going to launch another attack. From a different angle. And so Frank's trying to buy time, and he challenges them to single combat, and Apollo's like, no, this is 2 against 1, I'm joining in too. And so he goes up against Commodus, because he's blinded the dude, thinking, okay, I might have a better chance against a dude that's blind. He's wrong. He doesn't stand a chance. Until, he flees into the cave thinking echoes will help, because that will mess up the sound that the dude can hear. And some of his godly strength returns. And he's just like, yes! Because, throughout this, he's had some of his godly powers come back. The most clear one being his archery abilities. They're not god level yet, but they're higher than normal demigod. So, that's come back. And it seems like it's here to stay, because it's consistent, rather than fading in and out. And he challenges him, and then he realizes what Frank's plan is. He sees these crates, and he's like, oh no, Frank, you're not gonna. And he does. Frank blows up the bridge, and Apollo barely gets out with 1 third-degree burn, and Apollo's staring at the blaze, just like, Frank! No! Because Frank told him to run, and he's like, no one else was supposed to die, Frank! And he wants to rush back in there, but he knows he can't do anything, and he's staring helplessly when freaking Commodus comes out, all burnt up, but still alive, and orders the attack. So, because basically his boats have, these catapult things with the Greek fire, and it's like, fire! And he's grinning evilly to Apollo, and Apollo's just like, hell to that, no. No, you don't get to live after what Frank just did. No, you have to be dead. So he tackles him, and he's just choking him, like how he used to kill him, and Commodus is hitting him, and it's doing nothing. Because at this point, he's so blinded by rage that Apollo, it feels like paper's hitting him. And then he lets out a note of rage. He sings it, and it's just a note of pure rage. And Commodus turns to dust. And he's like, what have I done? I've never sung someone into death. He's so confused and horrified, and then Commodus and Caligula's soldiers are staring at him in shock and horror, and he literally just goes, boo, and they run away because Lavina and the satyr, fauns and dryads and naiads took down the ships and their weapons, so that's all good. So now they're gonna go and stop Tarquin, and he goes in there, and Tarquin's trying to find the stupid books, and he's ranting at the cat, like, show me where it is based! And the cat's just like, and starts licking his private parts. And Apollo tells him, because he's got no choice, because he's under his, scratch spell thing, and then he sort of collapses on the ground, and he can feel that he's going, the blood moon has ridden, he's going. And the arrow of Dodona comes out and it's just like, no, sing with me, stay with me, just a little bit longer. And so he's singing, and then Diana turns up. Hallelujah! She heals him, and the first thing he says to her is like, I love you. And she's like, you really have changed. So they go out, they've won, everything has been defeated, and then Arion comes in with a body on his back, and everyone's like, is that? And then Frank gets off and he's like, hi guys, collapse. He isn't dead! They manage to heal him, and Diana goes away because she can't stay any longer. And then they have all the much needed talks, like the Hunters of Artemis obviously turned up if Diana was there, and Thalia and Apollo talk, and it's all good. And Rhaena retires from being a protector because she's been a protector for so long, and she joins the hunt, which I'm not necessarily thrilled about. And Hazel becomes the new protector with Frank, and is like, oh, and then Lavina becomes the leader of the 5th cohort, and she's like, right, first things first, we're all getting dancing lessons. Because she's the daughter of the Muse of Dance. And it's really good. And I forgot to mention that we thought there might be a thing between Apollo and Rhaena, but that got shut down, and Apollo actually managed to help us see, unintentionally, that she didn't need no one to make her happy. She could make herself happy, and that's why she's joined the hunt. I'm hoping it's not permanent, because it seems she does like the idea of romantic love. So maybe she can leave at some point. And then it ends with them having to go to find Nero and take him down and free Delphi from Python. But we did lose a few people. Don the Fawn is dead. A couple of others. The standard bearer, Jackson, I think his name was. And there were other losses, but we didn't meet them, so we don't actually know their names. So it was one battle. It was won, but it was hard, and I'm still pissed at Jupiter. So, really good book. Aces, can't wait till autumn 2020 when we get the final book in the series. Trials of Apollo, The Tower of Nero. I'm very anxious. Very, very anxious. But it was good, and we got to see all the favorites again, and they're doing good. But we gotta take down Nero. Hopefully Commodus and Caligula are actually dead, because if they're still alive, I'm gonna be pissed. Oh, and Diana killed Tarquin. Woo! So the bad guys are defeated mostly. We just got Nero and Python to deal with. So let's hope that goes well. Anyway, thanks for listening, you guys. Read this book if you haven't already, and if you haven't already and you're still here, I can't help you. But I hope you've enjoyed this book as much as I have, and are anxiously awaiting the next. Let me know down in the comments what you thought, because I'm very anxious to know, because no one else I know has read this book. So I can't talk with anyone. I can talk at them, but they can't really comment. Alright, that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.